Familiar scene in America.
Gunfire from an assault rifle.
Yet another horrific story playing out in the South.
When will enough be enough? When will we elect leaders with the courage to stand up for us? Instead of a bunch of bullies and cowards who only do what their party says. And when it's bullshit, I call it bullshit. What I do is fight for justice for real people, because that's what Tennessee deserves. Look, I'm 6'3". I'm not afraid to stand up to anyone when it comes to doing what's right for Tennessee, especially Marsha Blackburn.
Right, that was one of the members of the Tennessee 3, State Representative Gloria Johnson, officially announcing her candidacy for the U.S. Senate. Johnson, along with fellow state representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, faced expulsion votes earlier this year for using a bullhorn on the State House floor to advocate for gun legislation after the Covenant School mass shooting in Nashville. While Johnson survived expulsion by one vote, Jones and Pearson were expelled. They were later reinstated and reelected. If Johnson prevails in the Democratic primary, she will face incumbent Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn. The Senate put out a video statement after Johnson's announcement. Take a listen.
She's a far-left Democrat. She's as woke as they come, and she knows all the liberal bigwigs in Tennessee. Frankly, my opponent is a direct threat to our way of life.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll start with a response to that. Tennessee State Representative and candidate for U.S. Senate Gloria Johnson joins us now. Nice to have you on the show. Interesting.
Great to be here.
Response from Marsha Blackburn on your candidacy. What do you say to that?
Well, there wasn't anything factual in there, that's for sure. A lot of name calling. It's quite remarkable, actually. When you come out and attack someone like that, it's kind of what I was talking about, the bullies that we see in some of our elected officials, just coming out on the attack and making false claims. But I expected this, and this is why, one of the reasons why I decided to run, because Tennesseans deserve better than this.
So what is it that Tennesseans are getting at this point? Especially, I'm just looking at pictures of the whole situation with you and the Tennessee 3. When did you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run for Senate. And what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, you know, I thought about it for a little while, been thinking since the beginning of the year probably. But as we moved in session and then the gun violence issue became so prominent, we had folks from Republicans, independents, Democrats that care deeply about ending gun violence in Tennessee. We have a serious problem. Gun violence is the number one killer of our children, and that is a fact. And so we have elected Republicans who refuse to do anything rather than loosen gun laws. And we have these officials that are basically owned by the NRA. And quite frankly, Marsha Blackburn is one of these folks. She gets millions from the NRA and has gotten millions. So we need people that are going to work for Tennesseans and not for the special interests and lobbyists.
Representative Johnson, good morning. It's good to have you on the show. We had 2018, the election of Marsha Blackburn, her first Senate run. She ran against a two-term governor of Tennessee, Phil Bredesen, a popular mayor of Nashville, and she won going away. She won by 11 points in that race. Some would argue Tennessee's gotten even a little more conservative since then. She's latched herself to Donald Trump, already endorsing him for 2024. So what makes you think she is vulnerable this time in a way she wasn't 6 years ago?
I think that what we are seeing, there is a movement in Tennessee. There is no question. We are building a broad coalition. When that incident with the Tennessee 3 happened, when they took away the First Amendment from members, from people in the gallery, from people in the rotunda. When they tried to silence people, not only was all of Tennessee watching, but the nation was watching. They showed up, young students, young people, parents with their kids on their shoulders showed up to say, we want something done. And then nothing happened. They actually ended session 10 days to 2 weeks early and accomplished nothing on gun violence, which is what people wanted to see. They promised a special session, but in the special session, they refused to talk about firearms. So we've got 80%, there were multiple polls, 80% of Tennesseans, regardless of party, want to see some action taken on gun violence, and they are doing absolutely nothing. And that's what we're getting out of Marsha Blackburn. She's in with the NRA. She is currently working right now. They're working in D.C. trying to negotiate prescription prices so senior citizens don't get caught in that donut hole and have exorbitant prescription costs. She's actually working to keep prescription costs high. She's doing nothing for Tennessee families. But then she gets almost $2 million from insurance company and big pharma. We need somebody who works for Tennesseans.
Representative Johnson, good morning. One of the things that we saw in Tennessee and have continued to see is that leading the charge for gun safety measures are young people. And, young people have been voting more and more every election cycle. But I'm curious how you anticipate using that coalition, right? You talked about this broad coalition, but you bringing out young voters, and it would seem you need them in huge numbers that kind of counter all of the elements of the Republican Party and their strength in Tennessee.
Well, the situation is, in my generation, we didn't grow up I didn't have to worry about gunshots in my classroom. But this is a generation of young people who grew up with active shooter drills and dealing with this idea that gun violence can come into their classroom. And they are motivated. They stayed active all summer. They had meetings in a variety of counties to talk about gun violence. They're not slowing down. They're not stopping. They're passionate about it, and they show up every single day. They showed up all summer to talk to legislators and to create rallies in surrounding counties and all of that. Gen Z is smart, they're savvy, and they care, and they're getting to work. We're seeing a transformational movement in Tennessee that like we haven't seen before. We are building a coalition. A lot of times our colleagues across the aisle try to divide us. We're building a multiracial, multi-generational coalition. And it is a movement that is building and building and growing. And we're going to be speaking to everybody in this campaign.
Tennessee State Representative and now a candidate for U.S. Senate, Gloria Johnson. Thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.